what's your take on the spread of false news, which of course we spoke about a couple of minutes ago.
On the issue of Obiano, those media houses don't research. If they do research, they will have known that one, there's no way Obiano would die in UK. Obiano doesn't go to UK. Obiano bought a house in Texas. He's living in Texas. He has his he does his medicals in Texas. Just like Ojo Zakano.
Right.
Ojo Zakano cannot die in UK because Kano doesn't go to UK. So they should know all these people. They should know the background of all these people. That's what journalism is all about, investigating. Understand me?
Right.
So I was disappointed when I read that news. So I told myself that this is just nonsense.
All right then, but again, the implication of that kind of news can be very damning, and we're glad again that yes, it's out there that it's actually.
And again, when it happened, Obiano's phone was buzzing because I tried to call him because I have his number. It was engaged, which means calls were coming in, trying to find out whether it is true or this or not. I have to even call his commissioner, Sidon. Have you read this news? Understand me? He said that he has seen it, but that Obiano is in America.
All right then, let's talk about what the front pages are saying. Which of these would you want to really, chime in your thoughts?
Well, my first. So I want to talk about the chief of air staff who said there's no safe haven for terrorists. So we have heard a lot of rhetorics. What we want is action. Understand me? Okay. What we want is action, and since the Donald Trump announcement, there has even been an escalation of violence. Understand?
I mean, let's have that first daily. Let's have that paper right on the screen. Good. Very interesting. And I said very interesting because the banner headline there, Doctor, reads 48 million naira bandit tax. Zamfara village cry out. And then the bottom strip is saying no safe haven for terrorists.
That's contradiction. That's contradiction. Since it was made, so there have been an escalation even in North Central. So it seems that these terrorists want to welcome America. Understand? So, and for me, enough of this talk. They should turn their, as I used to say, they should turn their noun into verb. Understand me? They should turn their noun into verb. Let us begin to see action. Because this tax thing is not just in Zamfara. Yes. It's happening in Katsina, in many, even in Niger State.
Aminu Tambowa's constituency in Sokoto State, they also were asking for 50 million from the farmers.
All right, so Doctor, let me break it down because precisely this is happening in Safe community in Zamfara, where they said Bawa Ganga should pay 20 million each, and Gwanja and Gidan Isu should pay 4 million each. And Matseri 3.5 million, and other villages 1.2 million naira each. This was how the bandits actually, shared this money.
You pay to stay
alive.
Safe. Understand me? You pay to stay safe.
You pay to go to your farm.
Understand me? So, and this shows you that there are governments in Nigeria government.
Well, we would be dealing with that particular stories holistically when we get into the major conversation this beautiful morning. But Doctor, I really want you to have a say on this headline in the Guardian weekend that reads, "Why Nigeria needs more university after all." Even though I've not truly read the full story, what's your position?
No, for me, I have said that we don't need even one extra university. What we need is funding. let the ones in existence be well funded. Understand? It's just like somebody who has just 2 children. He said no, it's not enough. You need to give birth that to more. Why you don't have even money that to feed the 2? So what we need in universities is funding, not more universities. That's my opinion.
All right, then let's pick one or two other front pages if we have a bit of time. The Saturday Vanguard is where we're going right now. The Saturday Vanguard, the banner headline here reads, Economy. Experts disagree with federal government on performance. The subriders there reads, Nigeria's economic improvement largely on paper. According to Action Aid, stability not enough. We are in a very embarrassing situation. That's according to Pi Call. Nigeria still in debt trap. Economy has not turned corner. Adonri financial analyst is saying that economy looks healthier in charts than it feels in households. That's from Egbemuade. Economic reforms were on the right path. That's from Muda Yusuf. Now, these are the subriders of that particular headline that I read earlier. Economic experts disagree with federal government on performance. Above the nameplate, court holds PDP convention. It will go on. Bode George insists. Clashes with Wike Lamido. Blue economy. Worry. Cocoa pods / turnaround time. Erode Lagos congestion. And then on home affairs, you have customers. Why prostitution thrives in a hypocritical society. Wike versus Yeriba. Tinubu intervenes. Peace returns to Abuja disputed land. Tinubu reappoints Buba Maura as NDLEA boss. FG clears 3.9 billion naira pension backlog. And then the bottom strip there, Air Peace counts $15 million loss after Lisa pulls out 3 aircrafts. Well, these are the headlines right there at the front page of the Saturday Vanguard. And of course, this is where we have to draw anchor on the front pages this beautiful morning. We'll be going straight to the main conversation where we'll be talking about the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria raising alarm, saying Christian genocide as terror attack surge. These and more we'll be talking about after this quick break, and we urge you to please just stay with us. We'll be right back. We're glad to have you back. It is still the Saturday morning buzz right here on Voice of the People Television. Let's jump right into the major conversation, shall we? The situation in Nigeria is being described as a humanitarian and security emergency by some quarters. Leaders of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, PFN, including President Francis Wale Oke, Pastor Francis Wale Oke, asserts that Christians are being systematically targeted, killed, kidnapped, and forcibly removed from their ancestral lands, calling it Christian genocide. Meanwhile, Senior Pastor Sam Ajayi of the Daystar Christian Center has urged national and international attention, saying that the evidence of targeted killings is everywhere: pictures, numbers, and reports. At the same time, attacks by extremists and terror groups are increasing across multiple states. Adamo Alero, a Nigerian senator, warns that under the current administration of President Bola Tinubu, the country's security forces are overwhelmed. Villages are being attacked, thousands killed or displaced, an entire farmland abandoned as internally displaced persons, IDP, floods into camps. In the Northwest, recent coordinated attacks in the Sabon Burning local government area of Sokoto State have seen multiple communities struck overnight and several declared dead, others kidnapped, and no confirmed official statements yet from authorities on that particular situation. Well, again, the international community is taking notice. The U.S. representative Nancy Mace declared that Nigeria has become one of the deadliest countries in the world for Christians, criticizing policies shift that removed Nigeria from the U.S. country of particular concern list. In the face of mounting reports, religious organizations, civil society groups, and victims, of course, victim groups are demanding transparency, accountability, and immediate protective intervention for vulnerable communities. Well, we have in the studios, just like you already know, Dr. Peter Anosike, who is, of course, going to help us make sense of these stories. He's a political and public affairs analyst and commentator. He's also an erudite scholar in economy, finance, and, of course, education, and a major writer right here in Nigeria. And we'll be having, joining us virtually, Mr. Polevo. He's not joined us yet, I believe. I'm talking about Pascal Polevo. He is a public affairs analyst and also an educationist as well. An educationist, yes. A school proprietor, I dare say. Yes, that's who he is. All right, let's jump right into the conversation. Doctor, the part of insecurity cannot be overemphasized because, yes, lots of persons have come out to, talk about the redesignation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Now, the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria clearly has made their stand. This is a Christian genocide. But it's a bit contradictory to what the Christian Association of Nigeria has really been saying. They've been saying, yes, there's been insecurity, but on the part of genocide, they've been trying to differ a bit.
I don't agree with you. The president of CAN, Christian Association of Nigeria, Daniel Oko, was emphatic. Daniel Oko called it the genocide in Nigeria. So I don't know which other association, but Daniel Oko was emphatic. He called it Christian genocide in Nigeria.
Okay, we're already in the conversation, and of course, joining us also to make sense of these stories again is Barrister Ezeluche, who is a lawyer and political and public affairs analyst and commentator. Barrister, a very good morning to you and welcome to the show this morning.
Thank you very much for the invite.
All right, then we have joining us virtually as well, Honorable Felix Pascal Polevo. Honorable Felix is an educationist and proprietor, public affairs analyst and commentator. He's joined us virtually. Honorable Felix, a very good morning to you.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
All right then. Well, I I don't know where you are right now. I want to say if you are in Jos or...
I'm in Taraba currently.
Fantastic, fantastic. All right, we're talking about the redesignation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern. And again, this have been at the wake of the fact that several government officials and of course some other bodies like the AU saying there is no genocide in Nigeria, Christian genocide in Nigeria. Of course, the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria has been vocal about this, with the president talking about Francis Waloke, clearly saying that, look, there is Christian genocide that have made Nigerian Christians leave their ancestral homes because of this situation. First, what's your position with these conversations? And again, looking at the fact that there's been some level of, I want to use the word loosely, denial by some institutions like the African Union. What is your position with this kind of conversation?
All right, thank you very much. I think much of what is happening is politics as against reality, and that is sad. And when we play politics with human lives, that means we've lost our sense of humanity. And so for me, what is playing out in the country at the moment is more of an ethno-religious genocide. There is genocide, nobody can deny that. People are being killed every day. But my only concern is the labeling. And the labeling is correct, but not very correct. So the labeling is correct in the sense that, yes, majority of the persons who are being killed are Christians, unfortunately. But then the grand plan is not just to exterminate Christians, but to put supreme a particular ethnic group. It is more of an ethnic agenda than even a religious agenda. And so what is happening is that certain ethnic group in this country feel that the whole of the land called Nigeria that you and I claim ownership to is for their grandfather. And so they want to take over everywhere that belongs to their grandfather, especially in the northern part of the country. They feel most part of the northern part of the country is their grandfather's space. And so them as grandchildren and great-grandchildren should take over, especially some of those locations where they have a lot of agricultural prowess. So they want to just see that. And then unfortunately, sadly enough, most of the current occupants of these environments where they have interest in are Christians. Most of those communities in Benue, in some part of Taraba, in Plateau, are dominated by Christians. And so they want to chase these people out to take what they feel rightfully belongs to them that was lawfully earned by their great-grandfather. And so the victims there happen to not be Christians. And then on a normal basis, any religious leader now, most of the people that are being killed is just coincidence. So I did mean those localities in Taraba, in Benue, in Plateau that are agriculturally endowed, that these people want to come and put up there, are inhabited probably by pagans or by Muslims. Would have also been shouting that we have pagan genocide in Nigeria, we have Muslim genocide in Nigeria. So it is correct to say there is Christian genocide because most of the victims are Christians. And they are the ones occupying most of these communities. But the hidden agenda is not just to exterminate Christians, but to take over some of these agriculturally viable lands and communities that are there. And then they do some pocket of killings in some Muslim communities to disguise the whole process. And then funny enough and sadly enough, painfully enough, most of the people doing these killings are adherents of Islam.
Okay, Mr. Pascal, I like to stay with you on this really, because just like you mentioned, it is not just in not just Christians, like you mentioned, but there are concerns about the fact that the presidency has made a statement, of course, after rejigging his cabinet with, of course, fresh service chiefs. He did say that there would be no excuses tolerated on the part of these service chiefs. But yet, we still see these killings go on and on. Isn't that about time that the presidency calls on a state of emergency, particularly on the part of security in Nigeria? Or do you think there is some level of no political will at all, which again some quarters have said is the reason why we have this kind of insecurity bedeviling us this much in the country?
It's crystal clear, sir, that there is no political will to combat this challenge. People are just playing politics. Rejecting security. The president himself, from his heart of heart, knows how to combat this issue. He knows that the Nigerian state has the capacity to face these people head on. But because their hands have been submerged, because there is no sincerity of purpose, because we are busy romancing with terrorists, to the point whereby we want to even rehabilitate terrorists in this country at the expense of the people whom they have killed, the families of those persons they've killed. Today, the presidency, what are we after? We are crying foul that Trump is trying to invade Nigeria. It is now we are realizing that we are a supreme state. It is now that we are realizing that we have our own constitution, that we can govern ourselves by our constitution, that we don't need a Trump to come into the country. It's now. All because their families and relatives have not been affected. I was discussing this some few days ago in a sister station, and I said some of these people making noises because, see, sir, there are families that have been cleared. You find a family of 12 persons, is only one person that is alive. The family name is being eroded. You see a situation where a woman who is even pregnant with a child, she's killed. The fetus in her womb is even, cut off and removed. Before now, they used to say even terrorists and during war and all whatnot, they don't kill women, they don't kill children. But this is what we even see. What threat is that even child in the womb? He has not even come out. He has not even realized himself as a being. That pregnant woman, what crime has she committed? Her crime is just because she's a Christian or she's living in that locality that you claim is for your grandfather. So it is a call for us, like, let's re-examine ourselves. The presidency needs to be sincere. Let's re-examine ourselves. Are we really sincere about this? Do we want to live as a country where we see on social media certain quarters of people celebrating? When they say they've killed people here, some people are celebrating it. When they say they've killed others there, some people are happy about it because it's not my ethnic group that has been killed, it's not my tribe, it's not my religion. Are we really ready and sincere that we want to live as one Nigeria? Let us stop deceiving ourselves and stop wasting lives. If we really don't want to live together, let's free some people. If you feel this is a place for your grandfather, then allow others to live and go to where probably they can be accommodated by other people, or their grandfather too has a particular place for them. Let them go and live. But we need to redefine our identity as Nigerians. If the president claims he's the president of Nigeria, then he must stand head on and fight insecurity. These lives of people is equal to his own life too. It is also possible those people that are being killed, they would have also become president like him tomorrow. He should know it's beyond politics, it's beyond the fact that he's president, it's beyond the millions of naira he will make as president and all the rights and privileges of the office of the president of this country. It's about humanity, and once he loses that humanity, his presidency loses its test.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Felix Pascal. Let me bring it back to the studio here, and I want to, of course, continue the conversation with you, Doctor. The part of denial on the federal government, particularly also from the service chief, the CDS did make a statement that there are no genocide in Nigeria. And of course, some other political elites, like, of course, the Minister of Aviation, saying that he's a Christian, he was employed by the presidency, so there are no Christian genocide. I mean, how much of these denial can we continue to have as a people to clearly and holistically putting an end to insecurity in Nigeria? Because we read on the headlines this morning, 48 million naira bandit tax. I've never heard that before in my life, and I'm hearing it for the first time.
Well, for me, the Naija is expected. He should not have said anything different, because saying anything different means admitting weakness, admitting that's irresponsible, that's not being able to perform his function. But I thank God for the social media. Without the social media, most of these killings would not have been brought to the public domain, because the legacy media have all compromised. Within 2 years, Tinubu has held a meeting with the Newspaper Owners Association of Nigeria 4 times. Understand? So, and I sent a story to a newspaper here in Lagos. The editor told me, Peter, we don't entertain stories against the president or anything that is anti-president. I can mention the newspaper name, understand? But let me just keep it there. So the Naija is expected. The legacy media has compromised, and without social media, we will not have been getting all these things, because I have gone to where there's a disaster, understand? This, I was told, don't publish any figure of the dead people without hearing from us. Understand me? Do you understand that?
Wow. That's
the law enforcement agency there, that you shouldn't publish any number of dead people without them giving you figure. Do you understand? So that's, I was representing some newspaper then, understand? So what I did was, the figure that I got, I sent it to social media. You see it? I send those figures to social media, because I know that if I get to the Sun, they will say, how did you verify this dead bodies? Understand? Because they have compromised. So, but my friend in Taraba made a revelation, which I quite agree with him. This Christian genocide for me is coincidental. I don't know, it is pagans that are in Plateau and Benue. What is happening now will also be happening there, because the mandate is to recover those land for their great grandfather. Understand? Who said that they will dip the Quran in the Atlantic Ocean? So it is that mission that they are still carrying on. When Agatu massacre happened, I followed that a World Bank team to Agatu. Understand?
right.
So I saw that was when during the time of Samuel Orton. So after that, the whole village was ransacked. And 3 years after, I went to Agatu. It is still that same way. So those people have been pushed to IDP camp. That's paving way for the Marauders to take over the community. And do you understand? So what they're now doing is building cleaning booths, sinking boreholes in IDP camp, which means they have become their permanent homes.
As against going back to
As against going back, which means their mission is succeeding. Understand? Those villages are being evacuated for them, even by the government of the day. So it is a mandate that is being carried out, but fortunately, the main occupants of those areas are Christians, because these communities are being renamed in Fufude. Understand me?
Okay.
They are not being renamed in Igbo or in Hausa, and we know the people that speak Fufude. So government knows what is happening, and if they want to stop it, they will stop it. That's my take.
Okay.